Welcome to World Action and Reaction News. Let's start today's news snapshot. Before starting this news session, my request to you all, please press subscribe button and press bell icon for regular updates on new video upload, if you are new to this channel, and also press like button if you find this video useful to you. Let's start. China should follow India's move to teach Mandarin to its border troops deployed along the Sino-Indian frontiers and give lessons in Hindi to them for better communication and to avoid any unnecessary misunderstandings with their Indian counterparts, a Chinese expert has said. Home Minister Rajnath Singh, last week, had lauded soldiers and officers of the Indo-Tibetan Border Force, ITBP, which guards the borders with China, for introducing Mandarin during basic training of its troops in order to help them converse with PLA soldiers during face-offs. India's concern over China has risen since the Doklam standoff, so it has asked its soldiers to learn Mandarin to communicate with the Chinese directly to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. Hu Xiong, a research fellow at Shanghai Academy of Social Sciences Institute of International Relations, was quoted as saying by the state-run Global Times. Pakistan is trying to reacquire an unspecified number of helicopters from the US for anti-narcotics operations after returning 9 Huey-2 helicopters it had acquired in 2002, the media reported. Pakistan returned on Monday the remaining 5 of the 9 helicopters it had received from the US almost 15 years ago. The Interior Ministry had earlier given back 4 of these rotary-wing helicopters on October 15, Dawn Online reported. Islamabad had received a total of 12 aircraft, including 3 fixed-wing Cessna airplanes, from Washington for anti-narcotics operations in federally administered tribal areas, FATA, and Balochistan. The ministry, however, purchased the 3 Cessna airplanes that came with the choppers. The Americans, who received the remaining 5 aircraft on Monday, had already made redirection arrangements selling it to a third party so Pakistan cannot rebuy those helicopters. Instead, Islamabad will have to renegotiate a fresh deal, the report said. India has not formally given up the joint project to develop a multipurpose transport aircraft. Igor Bevzyuk, Medium Transport Aircraft, MTA, program manager at the Aviation Complex Public Joint Stock Company, told TASS. The requirements for the Russian-Indian multipurpose transport aircraft have been outlined after a fairly long period. However, the risks related to the implementation of some of the requirements have led to freezing this project, although de jure the Indians have not abandoned it completely, he said. Commenting on the possible reasons for the project's suspension, Bevzyuk noted the set of requirements to the aircraft has led by a high degree of technical risks. The framework agreement on developing cargo aircraft capable of carrying up to 20 tons for the Russian and Indian Air Forces was signed in September 2010. In 2015, media reports said Moscow and New Delhi planned to agree on the pre-contractual documentation under the MTA program. Plans were in store to begin the basic designing cycle before the end of the year, Yuri Slyuzar, president of the United Aircraft Corporation, stated. China today rejected as false and untrue a media report that it was planning to build a 1,000 km long tunnel to divert water from the Brahmaputra River in Tibet close to Arunachal Pradesh to the parched Xinjiang region. Hong Kong-based South China Morning Post yesterday said that Chinese engineers were testing techniques that could be used to build the tunnel, the world's longest. This is untrue. This is a false report, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying told a media briefing when asked about the report. China will continue to attach great importance to cross-border river cooperation, she said. According to the report, the proposed tunnel, which would drop down from the world's highest plateau in multiple sections connected by waterfalls, would provide water in China's largest administrative division plus, comprising vast swathes of deserts and dry grasslands. The government is considering appointing a Chief of Defense Staff, CDs, as head of the Tri-Services with a sense of urgency, Defense Ministry sources said today. They said government was revisiting the long-pending issue, indicating that a clear picture may emerge soon. The Defense Ministry is attending to it with a sense of urgency, the sources said. A high-level committee set up to examine the gaps in the country's security system in the wake of the Kargil War in 1999 had called for appointment of a Chief of Defense Staff, CDs, as a single-point military advisor to the Defense Minister. A group of ministers analyzing required reforms in the national security system had also favored appointing a Chief of Defense Staff. However, successive governments were unable to take a call on the sensitive issue. Several steps have to be taken before the appointment of the CDs, a source said. Export contracts of Russian arms trade agency Rosoboronexport, part of Rostec State Corporation, amounted to $44 billion in FY 2016-17, with its portfolio in India exceeding $4 billion. Though Russian defense products are exported to 70 countries within the Defense Technology Cooperation Framework, India continues to be a key strategic partner for Rosoboronexport. Talks between the two nations are on for the acquisition of 4 Admiral Grigorovich-class frigates and the purchase of S-400 air defense systems, as well as acquisition of 200 Kamov Tu-26T helicopters, sources said, adding that discussions are also on for a second nuclear-powered submarine. Rosoboronexport is currently producing the Su-30 Mki and T-90 tanks, among others, in India, and has recently inked a joint venture with Hindustan Aeronautics Ltd, HAL, for the production of Kamov Tu-26T helicopters in an estimated $1 billion program. Plans of the joint venture envisages production of up to 35 Kamov Tu-26T helicopters per year, with the possibility to increase production. Officials said the assembly of Arias-2G1 engines for the Indian Ka Tu-26T will be part of a joint venture between Safran and HAL. The amended armed rules are expected to encourage manufacturing and facilitate availability of world-class weapons for India's armed forces and police forces in sync with the country's defence indigenization program, the Home Ministry said. The amended rules, liberalised as part of the Make in India initiative, will apply to licenses granted by the Home Ministry for manufacturing small arms and ammunition. The rules cover licenses granted by the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, DIP, for building tanks and other armoured fighting vehicles, defence aircraft, spacecraft, all warships, arms and ammunition and allied items of defence equipment other than small arms. Manufacturing licenses, which had to be renewed every year so far, will now be permanently valid. The license fee has been cut as well. While the license fee so far was fixed at Rs 500 per firearm, it has now been changed to Rs 5,000 for 1 to 1,000 units, Rs 15,000 for 1,000 to 10,000 units and Rs 50,000 for more. Further, enhancement of capacity up to 15% of the quantity approved under the license will not require any further approval by the government. The manufacturer will be required to give only prior intimation to the licensing authority in this regard, the statement added. The Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, said on Monday it will launch 30 satellites in a single mission on board its Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, PSLV, in December. The mission, whose main payload would be Cartosat-2 series Earth observation satellite, will be the first PSLV mission after the unsuccessful launch of navigation satellite IRNS-1H in August. We are planning our next launch in the second half of December, all things are in place. It will be a satellite of Cartosat-2 series along with other CO passengers, ISRO Chairman Kiran Kumar told reporters here. PSLV C-40 will be used for the launch from the spaceport in Sriharikota, about 100 kilometers from Chennai. The mission will be a combination of 25 nanosatellites, 3 microsatellites and 1 Cartosat satellite, along with maybe 1 university satellite, ISRO officials said. In an effort to soothe the nerves of Indian defence firms, the centre is mulling customs duty exemption on the import of spare parts under programs that were rolled out before April 1, 2017. The exemption will be granted in order to bring the Indian firms on a PAR with foreign OEMs who are provided tax exemption on the projects they develop. The customs duty is being paid by the Indian government on behalf of the foreign OEMs, sources in the Ministry of Defence said. According to current norms, while foreign original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, in the country are given tax concessions on the items they import into the country to build a certain armament, Indian companies end up paying customs duty. If the government is serious about advancing Make in India in defence manufacturing, this tax concession has to be given to private Indian defence companies. For us, the customs duty becomes a part of our working capital, a top executive of an Indian defence company told Business Line. The Ministry of Defence has launched a global hunt to procure an advanced sniper rifle with thermal imaging night sights and a strike range of 1,200 meters. A request for information has been sent to international and Indian weapons manufacturers. The new rifle will replace the Indian Army's ailing Soviet-era Dragunov guns. As per the Army's field requirements, the MOD has decided to procure about 5,500 advanced sniper rifles with night sights. The procurement will be carried out in phases and the desired quantity must be delivered by the supplier within 6 to 18 months from the day of signing the contract, a senior official with the MOD told TOI over phone. Army snipers have been using the obsolete Dragunov since it was first inducted in the Indian Army back in 1990. The weapon's ammunition has become expensive and there have been reliability, ability problems. The 7.62 mm caliber Dragunov has been suffering from several problems, a senior Army officer with an infantry division, currently posted in the northeast sector, told TOI. Army Higher UPS and the Ministry know about the gun's problems but procurement has remained pending since 2012, due to various reasons.
Thanks for watching. I hope you like this news. Please share your views in comment box. Please like and share this video. Press subscribe button and bell for auto update to you regarding my channel World Action and Reaction News. Warn.